He
Don't
said
worry
easy
about what
work,
he said.
easy money. Do you
Don't
agree?
worry about what. There's no easy fight. There's no easy fight.
Why is he saying this? Why is he saying this? He said easy money.
But he believes in me.
Yeah,
he
that's
believes
right.
in me.
I like that.
Have you ever seen like someone on X Factor that can't sing, but they're
One in there, I can fight free. If he starts getting touched up and losing rounds, I think the cookie will crumble.
Do you agree?
Whatever he said, we'll see if the cookie crumbles. I don't know what to say. I'm confident in myself. Like, I'm not focusing on him. I just know what I can do, and I can't wait to show it. I'm not gonna crumble. I'm solid. I've been through.
I'm gonna say I don't want to focus on it being like about Jake. Oh, Jake's small, so that makes me confident. Jake's this, so that makes me confident. I'm just focused on myself. I'm confident in myself. Jake could be 10th. I'm confident in myself. That's what I'm saying. It's not about how he is. I just really like. I've got a good team. I've been through ups and downs. I've stood the test of time. I'm passionate. I'm hungry. And I'm still here ready to fight my heart out. So I'm confident.
Anthony Joshua delivered a calm but firm message to Jake Paul, making it clear that he is not stepping in as a famous entertainer, but as a tested heavyweight champion backed by many years of top-level experience.
Boxing is not just the punches you see, it's the feinting, it's the distance, it's the, oh my God, I threw that jab. Yeah, the intangibles. It's going to be really interesting to see how he deals with the intangibles in it. And that's why I said there's a few things that I want to do in the ring that he might not have seen before, and I want to see how he deals with this.
Always have a lot to say, but both of us have some of the biggest knockouts of the past years in boxing, and we're coming to fight. We made it smaller gloves just now today. Someone's getting put to...
He explains that the confidence gained from world-class training, winning major titles, and performing under extreme pressure cannot be easily matched by someone moving from entertainment into professional boxing.
I align myself with some of the greatest coaches and greatest fighters in the world because I have that hunger, that desire. Every time I've been knocked down or been in trouble when I was younger, came back 3 years later, got to the Olympics. Get in trouble again before the Olympics, 3 years later, become world champion after 16 fights. Win all the belts, get beat by Ruiz, come back and unify the division for the second time. It's just constantly drives my focus and my hunger to get better. So I'm going to be a tough man to break down 100% come December 19th because I've been building myself over the last year. I ain't been sitting back, I've been working.
Joshua says his training has centered on sharpening the basics, building cleaner combinations, and working closely with elite trainers, so there are no surprises no matter what Paul shows on fight night. He believes this matchup is not about publicity, but about proving the clear difference between a rising crossover boxer and a fully proven professional. He also expects his performance to make that difference impossible to ignore.
To AJ, I just know that I have the power and the timing. It's the shots that you don't see coming that knock people out. And I'm a tricky knockout artist that people don't give me enough credit for. I've won knockout of the year. So he has to be careful. And I do have the timing, the speed, and the tricks up my sleeve to be able to hit a shot on this guy that he doesn't see coming.
Building on the concerns raised by fighters and experts, Conor McGregor shares a direct view saying Jake Paul deserves credit for facing a challenge of this size. However, that respect does not remove the danger. McGregor points out that boxing is a harsh sport with little room for error. Stepping in the ring with a powerful heavyweight like Anthony Joshua carries serious risk, and it is more than just attention from streaming platforms.
If he makes that walk, gotta give him his respect for that. It's very dangerous, you know. It seems like Netflix are all over him. It's a dangerous sport, and you can't overlook that. Joshua's a big boy and a powerhouse. I've sat ringside and watched Joshua. That's a heavy punching man, and he's a happy and he's a good kid. He has an anger in him. He has a darkness in him, does Anthony Joshua. I don't think a lot of people suss that. So, the fight shouldn't go ahead. My opinion, the fight shouldn't go ahead.
He describes Joshua as a force with powerful punches and an intense aggressive side that only true fighters have faced firsthand. In his view, very few can handle what Joshua brings when fully focused, and he openly questions if this fight should even take place because of the potential harm. Still, if Jake chooses to go through with it, McGregor feels the bravery alone deserves recognition, even if the result seems harshly predictable.
Let's give out a prediction for Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua, because I think a lot of people know what will happen. But is it dangerous for Jake Paul to be taking on a big heavyweight? You're a heavyweight, man. I wouldn't want to get punched by you here. Is it very dangerous for Jake Paul to be even taken on?
I mean, no matter what it is, it can be an exhibition fight or whatever fight it is. When two guys step over that rope and they got bad intentions or they ready to throw blows, it's always bad. You got to understand that boxing is a dangerous business and the head is not meant to be hit in the first place. Doctors will always tell you the head is not meant to be hit. The body is not meant to be hit.
Following McGregor's worries about risk and reputation, veteran boxing journalist Gareth A. Davies shares a similar cautious view while examining why Joshua versus Jake Paul is such an unusual yet globally captivating event. From Dubai, he notes that despite all the hype, many in the boxing world still find it hard to believe this fight is real until both fighters are in the ring during fight week. Davies acknowledges Jake Paul's courage for accepting the challenge, but highlights the unavoidable truth of the situation.
And signing the contract straight away. Readily, you cannot see a victory for Jake Paul. I mean, you can't. I do worry about his safety in there. I do know that it wouldn't have been licensed in the UK. Even today, people are throwing conjecture on the fact that Jake Paul hurt his eye. He said it was Lawrence Okoli punched him in sparring, and that the fight is off. People are almost looking for a reason for it to be off. I've been there myself in the last couple of weeks as well. I mean, I cannot believe. Until I see them in fight week and until we witness it, I won't believe it.
Matching a beginner boxer with a former unified heavyweight champion is something that would never be allowed in stricter places like the UK. He notes that even promoters appear to be looking for reasons to cancel the fight, pointing to rumors about Jake Paul's recent eye injury in sparring. He also emphasizes that this is not just entertainment. The heavyweight division is still dangerous, and every punch carries real risk no matter how popular or visible the fighters are. At the same time, he recognizes that the fight will likely draw record numbers and give Joshua a very clear path for a comeback.
Spoke with Nikita Badarin and Jake Paul at the press conference in Miami a couple of weeks back. If Jake Paul does do it, it'll be the biggest upset in the history of boxing. The biggest shock ever. Maybe one of the biggest upsets in the whole of sport. Some people question whether this really is sport. You know, you can deem it to be circus, you can deem it to be freak show. Spoke to David Hay for an interview in the Telegraph that's going in tomorrow, I think. And he was saying, you know, if he'd been offered this all those years ago and he was in the same position as Anthony Joshua, he said, I wouldn't have even thought about it. I wouldn't have even given it any consideration. It would have been a tick in the box.
Davies emphasizes that all the pressure is on AJ. If the fight goes beyond a few minutes, critics will question his mindset. And if something goes seriously wrong, boxing will have to explain why this match was ever sanctioned. As debate over the risk and legitimacy of Joshua versus Jake Paul continues, analyst Wade Plemons takes the concern further by looking inside Jake's training camp. The signs are not very reassuring. He points out Jake showing a visible black eye from recent heavyweight sparring, especially against Lawrence Okoli, a much bigger and more experienced fighter whose jab and left hook closely resemble the same threats Anthony Joshua brings.
And especially if it's your right eye, if Jake's getting hit in his right eye, that usually would mean that he's getting jabbed, because that jab in orthodox would come out from the left hand on the right eye side constantly, or got jabbed big time with a one big shot, or, and this may be even more of a bad thing for Jake Paul, he's gotten hit with a hard left hook, one that he didn't see because it was right on his eye. And it looks like it landed pretty flush, as you can kind of see here. Question is, which one of those two things is happening? And question is, how is it going down? Because what we know about Anthony Joshua is that he has a nasty...
Plemons notes that while sparring with large partners is meant to get Jake ready for the demands of a real heavyweight, the visible marks suggest he is having trouble avoiding punches he will definitely face on fight night. He emphasizes that at this level, a single clean shot, even in sparring, reveals timing, defense, and weaknesses that could be crucial. When the gloves are smaller, the lights are brighter, and every error matters. Plemons also studies Joshua's mindset through press conference clips and training footage, observing that AJ is highly focused already on weight and driven to maintain constant pressure. Jake's claims that the size gap works in his favor are met with doubt as Plemons points out that Joshua's reach, power, and ring experience will force Jake into situations he has never truly encountered.
Worst I've seen Jake look after sparring or at any time during his camps, and maybe there's been times where he's not on camera, but you can tell the levels are higher and the risk is higher and the danger is higher this time around because of how his eye looks. He's probably getting hit harder, getting up worse in sparring than he ever has. Now, he has said that the heavyweights he's sparring, it's actually easier for him and he's not getting hit as much, but that black eye is not the same indication as to what he's saying. So either he's embellishing a bit and this is harder than he thought, or harder than in anything else he's ever done as far as the sparring, the training for this match, or he got caught with something.
He explains that the risk goes well beyond winning or losing. The physical toll could be serious if Jake cannot handle the speed or strength of a former unified heavyweight champion. While he commends Jake's bravery and ambition, Plemons stresses that the difference in top-level experience combined with limited time to master heavyweight skills makes this one of the most dangerous fights of Jake Paul's career. Even recognizing Jake's courage, the concerns remain. That is where former UFC title challenger Darren Till adds his perspective. Drawing on decades in combat sports, he points out that while anyone willing to face danger can be admired, there are realities you cannot ignore. Till says he has spent over 20 years perfecting striking in MMA, Muay Thai, and boxing, and even he would not step up to fight Anthony Joshua under professional rules. From his view, Jake may be aiming for history, but the size, power, and world-class experience gap makes it hard to see this as a fair competitive matchup. He warns that without strict behind-the-scenes safety measures, Jake is entering a situation where his physical health is genuinely at risk.
Yeah, look, Anthony Joshua is one of the biggest, strongest heavyweights out there. I've sparred a few heavyweights who come down the gym. One was being a guy called the War Chief. He was massive. He looked like John Coffey from Game Island. He didn't punch me around, but every time he hit me, even when he hit me forward, I just felt like this thunder hit me, and I was like, and that's why we have weight classes. That's why you have your lightweight, your welterweight, and from that we can all go up and down a little bit, but we can't make jumps like that. It's just not. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Jake.
So as we finish up, every voice in the sport, from world champions to MMA veterans to analysts who have seen it all, is sending the same message. This fight is historic, but it is also a huge risk. Anthony Joshua brings real heavyweight power, years of elite training, and a mindset that doesn't mess around. Jake Paul brings ambition, confidence, and a willingness to risk everything for his legacy. That is why everyone is watching closely. Maybe Jake surprises the world, or maybe reality lands like a heavy punch. Either way, we are seeing a moment that could change boxing forever, for better or worse. Now it's your turn. Do you think Jake Paul can survive even one clean shot from Anthony Joshua? Or does this whole experiment in the moment a real heavyweight connects? Jump into the comments and let the discussion begin. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Boxing Headquarters. See you next time.